and gentlemen.
No, baby. What's happening? We're back. We're better than ever. Welcome to Mars, baby, aka the Mike and Rob Show, where we are in there like swimwear every football Sunday, every day for NBA, WNBA, college, collegiate, overseas, Big Three basketball. We covering it all. But tonight is the biggest night of the year, ladies.
It's the dance, baby. It's the dance.
And Rob, once again, we haven't been invited. The Chicago Bears are still awaiting their invite. See a lot of guys that could have been a Bear, a lot of guys that should have been a Bear, but unfortunately not. Tonight, Rob Scott, we have Gang Bang Niner Gang versus the Chiefs. How we feeling, baby? What's your mindset right now? How have your tickets been looking throughout the NFL playoffs before anything? Is this the anticipated matchup that you were expecting?
This is not what I was expecting. I was expecting 49ers Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Yo.
All the Chiefs fans out there. But Mahomes is continuing to prove that's the baby goat. Mm-hmm. Like when the playoffs start, we heard of playoff Jimmy. We heard of playoff Jason Tatum. But now you heard of playoff Rondo. But now we got playoff Pat. And I'm telling you, when the playoffs start, I don't know what it is. When the pressure is on, that man turn up, man. And right now, man, the Chiefs are yet again back at the big dance.
You know what? To that point, though, Rob, I think I would say Pat has been consistent all year long. The one I think that you're getting a playoff version from is Travis Kelce. I mean, they were talking about, man, this might be the last dance. He looks like off the step. I think Taylor's doing him in. I think there's problems. I think he cares too much about the podcast. Ever since the playoffs started, we're looking at a guy who's had over 70 yards a game, multiple touchdowns. I mean, Travis Kelce's gone after it. And like you said, there's something about that playoff magic that just makes
you gotta fight for your right to party!
Come on, baby.
Hey, but you know the reason I say playoff Pat is because we saw his frustrations and everything during the regular season. Him, his statements of what he made about the refs, and he's actually been getting in his receiver's face a little bit more this year, and as pertaining to their drops. But you can see as he elevates his play, the team elevates their play, and it's becoming Chiefs magic yet again. I mean, shout out to Greg in the Red Kingdom, who I felt was too disrespectful the other day. And y'all might have to eat y'all birds because Brock, my gang, so purdy, might have something to say about what y'all been saying. But you got to give it to the Chiefs, man. Like if they win the Super Bowl today, you have to start throwing around that dynasty word.
Yeah. And, even more than that, like you said, the GOAT word, the GOAT conversation. I saw today they were talking about it on the NFL Network that if Patrick Mahomes does get this, he not only beats Joe Montana and Tom Brady in all-time yards at the age of 27, 28, but he's catching elite legends as it contains his entire accolades of their 15-plus year careers in total Super Bowls. Right now, I believe before Tom Brady, the tie, I believe there's several players that are tied right now for most Super Bowls as a quarterback. I believe it's at 4. So, you're looking at a guy at 27 years old who's already at 3 if he wins tonight. Already been to 4 of them things. So, I mean
it's been a 6 straight AFC championship games. I know I've said this several times on my show, on this show, on your show. I've said this several times. Pat Mahomes doesn't know what it feels like to not at least play for the AFC Championship.
Right. Only
That's
time he
ridiculous.
did was sitting behind Alex Smith.
That was sitting behind Alex as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like
Nope.
he know. I mean, Nick Wright calls it, the Patrick Mahomes Invitational.
Mhm.
Like, it's the AFC Championship is where we gonna meet. So I mean, shout out to the Chiefs to once again, make it to, almost make it to the top of the mountaintop. They got one more climb to make.
Did you happen to see that commercial they have going around of Alex Smith talking about his time with Patrick Mahomes?
No.
It's a hilarious little video. I mean, it's valid too. Like, he's actually giving him props. He's giving him his flowers, talking about how we take it for granted for what he's doing right now. But he also, mentions that every Thursday, the quarterback room used to always get together. All the quarterbacks, the coaches, et cetera, et cetera. They used to all go out. They used to hang out, grab some dinner, grab some grub. You'd get Patrick Mahomes every time. I want a well-done steak, extra ketchup. And he said everything's cool about Pat. It's just that ketchup thing I just can't get over.
I can't get over the well done steak. You're killing your steak, Pat.
Yeah.
I had to learn the hard way. I got hood taste buds. So, I was going to the restaurant like, yeah, well done. And, one time the chef came from the kitchen. It was like, man, you killing your steak, man. I was at Miri Mosho's or Harry Mosho's out there in Philly. He's a famous cook, Miri Moto's or something like that. And it was, once I tried medium, I'm like, okay, I can never ever go back to the well done steak.
Most definitely, man. And there was another rumor going around that got verified by Patrick Mahomes that he has. Now, I want to get the full thing out there. I don't want to use this as clickbait. I want to actually have a conversation. Patrick Mahomes admitted, since being an NFL starter, since his first game starting in the NFL, he has gone to the arena.
Yeah.
Not played. He has not been playing in these underwear.
Yeah.
He has worn the same pair of underwear to every game.
Yeah.
Now he changes them, he said, to go play. They're not that rank. But Rob, where are you at
I don't know.
6-year-old same pair of underwear?
I don't want to talk about a man and what he does with his underwear.
That's bad. I think, but like for you, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask Rob Scott, the man.
Yeah.
Is 6 years too long to own a pair of underwear?
To own?
To own a pair of underwear.
Not to own, but to
wear.
Wear, and hopefully you watch them every game. But like I said, I don't
imagine he did.
I don't want to discuss a man and his drawers.
Yeah, before we get into the breakdown of the game, obviously we're talking X's and O's.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the halftime show.
Hey,
we got some stuff going on this halftime. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. I'm excited about this one. At first I was kind of on the fence, but Rob Scott had to remind me that I was very young in the Usher era.
Usher got his. Let me tell you.
He do, but I'm gonna throw this one out to you first.
Yeah.
The crew that's going to come out with them. Last year we saw Rihanna. She came out on her own. But we obviously saw Snoop and them boys go out there in LA just a couple years ago. Do you expect Usher to go out there with an Alicia Keys, a T-Pain, a Justin Bieber, somebody along those lines to sing some with him?
I can definitely see maybe an Alicia Keys if he pulls out My Boo. Yeah,
Oh, they're gonna show Taylor on the screen.
Hey, that's why I got Travis Kelce for an anytime touchdown today because I know they ready to go up there and look at Taylor. But no, I think Usher's gonna come out. Usher's been on the road like these past couple of years with the residency he had in Las Vegas, and I mean, every time you looked on Instagram, you saw these celebrity chicks.
You saw Asia Wilson in the Las Vegas Aces.
Yeah, these celebrity women posting, their videos and their point of views of how they were at the Usher concert. So he was already cooking in Vegas. I think this is probably Usher's. I don't want to say last hurrah, but before he takes a break because he deserves a break. Right. I'm pretty sure he's been cashing out with all these concerts he's been doing in Vegas. But I think it's gonna be a spectacular show, man. He's definitely a showman, and hey, maybe you might see some type of tribute to Michael Jackson. I know that was his guy, and to me, Michael Jackson still has one of the best performances at a Super Bowl of all time. I mean, the guy stood there for 10 minutes and they just cheered and like you never seen a person with stage presence like Michael Jackson. So
No.
hopefully Us is able to, I'm not definitely not saying he's gonna be Mike, but Us is gonna be able to hold his own. As I said, he got hella hits,
Yeah, most
hella hits, dude. I
most
mean,
definitely.
Us is a dog.
I still
He's
think
a
like
dog.
the craziest one to me, like obviously he had Tick before, but I'm talking about
Hmm.
globally had Tick. You had
Yeah,
J Lo, Shakira, and Bad Bunny all on one stage, and Bad Bunny
yeah,
wasn't even the headline. You know what I mean? Like Bad
yeah.
Bunny was just kind of there. You know what I mean? So
And
that
Bad Bunny, one of them, one of them.
we one of them now.
I
Like
I watch with Bad
what,
Bunny.
2019. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first encounter of the Chiefs and the 49ers in the Super Bowl. That was like
Yeah.
2019, if I'm not mistaken. But he's since then just 10 times crazier. So it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. And we got Anthony Price in the comments. This one's for Rob.
Hey,
Let him deal with that.
Michael Jackson, man. Like, don't get me wrong. What Prince did, I think he did Purple Rain and had everything. And Prince, my guy too. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about two icons here.
Yup.
But when it comes to stage presence, when it comes to being able to captivate a crowd, there has not been, and I don't think there will ever be someone like Michael
Yeah, no, Mike was insane.
Jackson.
We had this conversation the other day at work, or I believe this was a couple weeks ago. A couple of young cats over there. We got some 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds just started working over there. And they're having conversations. They're like, oh no, like Drake is the new Michael Jackson. And I just kind of looked over and I was like,
Nah.
in like terms of what? Like,
Right.
are you talking about in terms of viewership? Are you talking about tick? Are you talking
And
about
nothing. And
like what do
nothing.
you? And bro was so serious. My guy Justin, shout out Justin. He was so serious. He was like,
Nah.
"No, bro, like he is a showman. He is just as good, if not better, than Michael
Nah.
Jackson." I was like, "Bro, you got to chill out."
He
I was
ain't
like,
watched no Michael Jackson. I've literally seen
"Yup,
people pass out crying. Like he could sit on stage and fake cry. And oh my God, Michael, I love you. And bro, I used to watch like Michael Jackson is the goat of
yup,
goats to me. Like
yeah,
that dude was
one of one,
different,
bro,
bro.
one of
Like
one."
he was
Like
different.
shout out to Drake though. Shout out to Drake.
Hey,
He
but it's not,
really
no,
does his thing.
I guess if you want to say he's the Michael Jackson of hip hop, I don't know.
Sure, maybe I don't know, but you still got a lot of like I've
But
heard this.
Drake one of them too. But
Right,
when
this
you get to
isn't
throwing around Michael Jackson, like that's
right.
different.
You gotta be smooth with it. You know what I mean? Like, there's very few people I think have gotten that recognition. I think Elvis got that recognition. I think a
Yeah.
couple other cats, Tupac and them,
Oh,
got respected
oh,
in their terms and what they were trying to do. I like that. Do that again, Rob.
oh. Hey, you all gotta hit that Elvis,
You
baby.
crazy. You know my opinion on Elvis, bro. You already know how I feel about
Hey,
it.
look, people say, Elvis stole, but look, good artists borrow, great artists steal. So,
Elvis just a white man with
unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna hear that all through the music industry. Hell, black people stealing black people. Elvis put out good music.
yeah, 100%.
And what it
Man,
is, what it was.
let's get into the game. There's a lot of different
I
things.
say next year in Florida, I don't know. Probably Taylor Swift. Probably Taylor
Probably.
the Swifties.
Probably after they saw how much they marketed this year, probably. And man, could
Oh,
you
you see,
imagine?
she said they said she made them $350 million.
I did see that. It's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, it's wild to me to think that one person can have. And this is no hate. This is just genuine. Like I don't follow Taylor Swift like that, so I was new to her going into this year. I had my older sisters growing up, but that was really it. You know what I mean? But seeing the way she moves and the amount of revenue that she brings in, she's a genius. Like, truly. Like, I know people are tired of seeing her, and I'm one of them. At times I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
But I get it. Because if you're the NFL, I'm showing her every 5
I'm milking it too. I'm
Right.
showing her swag surfing. I'm
Yup.
showing all that. I mean, her, as an artist herself, as a person, she's worth $1.1 billion.
Yup.
And
Where do
that tells you the amount of the followers she got. She's smart. She understands how money comes from touring, and then it- putting money in other avenues like apparel and things. All these friendship bracelets and things like that. I mean, the woman making money. I ain't mad at her, man. Do your
And Rob, we
thing,
got
bro.
another comment on a TikTok right now. I kind
Yeah,
of like this one. He said,
yeah.
when it comes to Drake versus Michael Jackson, he would say Justin Timberlake was closer than Michael than Drake is because of be as a performer. And I could get down with that.
Yeah. I mean,
He
because he
goes
can
crazy.
dance and JT a dog.
But let me ask you this one
I
because
was just bumping some JT the other day, boy.
I
What
think
goes around comes back around. Hey, boy, that was my song.
I don't even remember what I was gonna ask you, Joe.
My man,
That's
Mike,
crazy.
dude.
I
My
can't. When
man,
I
I
play this
pulled out
back
the
later and I
JT on
watch
you.
our episode, I'm gonna text you and be like, Rob, this was a key question I was gonna ask you, and now you talking about what goes around comes
What goes
around.
around goes around, what goes around. Hey, that's my song, boy. JT went crazy.
I can't stand him. I can't stand him at all. But man, you know, we get into that though, and
Yeah,
we have these conversations about Travis Kelsey, and all week long,
yeah.
I hear people in the media asking him about Taylor Swift. And like my only thing is this, like where are you at as it pertains to the media asking questions about Taylor on media day? Because for me, I completely understand it. You know, those people asking questions. We saw people in Chicago who went there asking Patrick Mahomes about Justin Fields and, you know, Caleb Williams. And I understand that you want to fit your narrative of the story you're trying to tell. But as it pertains to Taylor Swift, it's like, you know, you fought your entire career. You know, your blood, sweat, tears, the work you're putting in from ages, you know, what, 6, 5,
Yeah,
6, all the way to now.
playing small fry to now.
You're all the way at the Super Bowl. And all they can ask you about is Taylor Swift. They're asking Patrick Mahomes about Taylor Swift. They're
Yeah,
asking Rice about him. They're asking Andy Reid. Is that too much, you think, to not talk about the man's legacy, not talk about what he's worked so hard for? Instead, you're talking about what's making the league money. That's where I'm kind of like, if you want to show her on the screen when he catches a touchdown, of course. But you're on media day. We're talking
yeah.
about Taylor Swift. I felt like that just disrespected all the hardworking men that got to this point.
I would say this. I think it's
Right.
laziness for the media that you're just gonna pick a bunch of Taylor Swift questions instead of really diving deep into the game. You know what I mean? Like let's talk about it. We got two powerhouses about to go at it against each other. We're talking about the two top ranked defenses. We're talking about two high power, high octane offenses that can go crazy at any time. I think that's what we should be worried about. We should be talking about the journey travel. We should be talking about, the 49ers being able to run through the Cowboys and then, during the regular season and then running through the Packers, what I'm saying, running through Detroit, being able to come back from that 27-point deficit. I mean, let's talk about real football. Talk about the Chiefs and
Yep.
what they did, shutting everybody up, beating Lamar Jackson and that top ranked defense out there in Baltimore continue to elevate this play the way they ran through Miami. And Snead was able to cover up Tyreek Hill and
Yep.
them showing them, we don't need you, Tyreek. You should have stayed home. And it's okay that you wanted to leave, but hey, guess what? We gonna continue to win without you, as they won
Right.
a Super Bowl last year without him. So
Right.
you let's talk about the real stories that's going out here. Who is Brock Purdy, and what this is gonna do for Brock Purdy, and the amount of disrespect that this guy has. Like I saw somebody make a comment the other day talking about, oh, with Joe Burrow, he's that guy. I said, but nobody ever gives Joe Burrow hell for having a bunch of playmakers. Like if you look at his team, that's what he has.
Yep.
Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon. Like he has a bunch of playmakers, but yet he gets the credit for being a great. But then Brock Purdy gets the same hate because he has Ayuk, because he has Jennings, because he has Kittle, because he has Debo and McCaffrey. Like, I can't help what I got. Only
Hey,
thing I
Rob,
could do is go
keep
out
it in
there
the
and play.
division. Keep it in the division, bro. I mean,
Yeah,
look at how we praised Matthew Stafford for getting over the hump when he went to
correct.
LA, but he had Sean McVay. He
Yeah,
had almost a triple crown winner and almost an MVP wide receiver in Cooper Cup, Aaron Donald, and them boys. That
yeah.
defense was ferocious. I
Had
mean,
Odell, he had a squad over
everything.
there.
And it was finally, we always knew he could do this. He was just stuck in Detroit, but no one ever talked about it because no one talks about the failures he had with a Calvin Johnson, with a Megatron, how they were never even able to get past the first round of the playoffs, nonetheless, even consistently make it. So I definitely hear you. I've been on the Purdy train a while. I think it's one of those things where you really have to watch his game and watch how he moves. Like, here's where I'm at. And this is really just not just the conversation of who's an elite quarterback and who's not, but we have to start defining what makes you an elite quarterback. I
Yes,
know
we do.
plenty of guys who may not jump out the gym, but they are great hoopers. A modern day Chris Paul is one of those guys. You know, a Chris Paul in his prime, he's not dunking. He's not shooting threes like crazy, but he is an amazing floor general. He is an amazing facilitator, and he gets after it. And Brock Purdy, to me, Rob, is the same way. Why I brought up basketball is because of the game managing. Same thing as a floor game manager. You have the same conversations in basketball. Yeah, but he's not a scorer. He's just a facilitator, like a True Holiday. True Holiday will give you buckets if he has to. That's my big thing is when I look at a Brock Purdy, the problem with a lot of the league right now, and the problem I think we're having conversations about, is we're getting so used to the Lamar Jacksons of the world, the Patrick Mahomeses of the world, the absolute freaks. Like those are insanely talented individuals, but that isn't the standard of what makes you an elite quarterback. An elite quarterback wins games. An elite quarterback doesn't make indecisive decisions late in ball games. Those are the guys that are going to get the ball in their hands and get the ball to their best playmakers. And that's exactly what Brock Purdy does. I understand we're going to sit up here today in 2024 and say that Brock Purdy isn't as talented as a Jalen Hurts, as a Josh Allen, as a Patrick Mahomes or a Lamar Jackson, and maybe that's valid. But the big thing is this. If you take Joe Montana, Steve Young, all these old, let's even throw in a Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, and you put a Brock Purdy in there, stat by stat, and you look at what they're able to accomplish, and then you look at their athleticism. Their athleticism is probably the same, I would imagine, between Eli, Peyton, and those guys are statues, respectfully, Hall of Famers, but statues. And you're going to tell me that because of the era we're in, because Brock Purdy doesn't rush for over 600 yards a season, because he's not slinging it 80 yards down the field, that he's not an elite quarterback. I think we're forgetting what an elite quarterback is. And what I love the most is it's a lot of cats from Chicago. It's a lot of cats from Minnesota. It's a lot of cats from all over these places that have never even whiffed or smelled an elite quarterback on a Chicago Bears uniform or their home team before. So, like, that's really where I'm at right now. I love Justin Fields. Justin Fields is my guy. He's my comprendo. He is my amigo. I love him to death. But the reality is this. You rush 1,000 yards a season don't make you an elite quarterback. Now, Brock Purdy has reached that elite level quarterback play because I'll tell you what, Rob, roles are reversed. I want to throw out a question to you. Sam Darnold is QB1 of the San Francisco. Where are the 49ers today?
They'll be sitting at home while the Detroit Lions or Green Bay Packers will be in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. And here's another.
That's a great point, though. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
What was the difference between Jimmy Garoppolo, playoff Jimmy, porn star Jimmy? Everybody loved him because he was handsome, because he was a Midwestern kid, whatever narrative you want to throw out. He's rocking with the Instagram models, cool. But what was the difference between Jimmy and Purdy at this current state? What's the difference?
I got more faith in Purdy. That's the difference.
Exactly. But you're going to tell me, oh, but it's playoff Jimmy. Okay, but what about Purdy, who isn't only good in the playoffs, but he's good all year long?
I mean, he's done.
There was one bad game. Would you say one bad game against the Ravens? He threw multiple picks, got benched in the fourth.
Yeah, and he made a couple bad plays against Detroit, but nobody talks about the bounce back.
Nope.
Nobody talks about the bounce. He had that one god-awful pass that I don't know how Brandon Ayuk caught because it hit the guy's face. But after that, though, he made
it's crazy, dog.
He made decisive and precision-like passes
Yep.
throughout the rest of that game, which is why that the 49ers were able to come back and beat Detroit, and they are now going against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Now, I mean, when you talk about Purdy, man, you know, I get it. He's a game manager. I get it. You know who else was a game manager? Tom Brady. Tom Brady was a game manager, just on the most elite level. So I don't want to hear the disrespect that I hear Purdy get because they're talking about, like I heard somebody say, if put Dak in Brock Purdy's situation.
Right. What happened?
He doesn't. Dak has playmakers. Last time I checked, he had CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee's a dog.
He had Brandon Cooks.
Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott, and all these guys.
Thank you. And they just doing nothing, as I said earlier, but proving Debo right. What did Debo say last year? If my quarterback doesn't go down, we're in the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? Purdy didn't go down this year. And guess where they at? In the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I'll do you one better, Rob. If any quarterback played in that game, I think they would have went to the Super Bowl. We had Christian McCaffrey at quarterback last year in the NFC Championship. It was so bad. It was horrible.
And then he goes down.
Every quarterback went down. Jimmy went down. Trey was down. Brock was down. The fourth guy they had went down. Like, I forgot who that was, though. I forgot who their fourth guy was.
What's his name? Exactly what it was. What's his name?
Exactly. But in all seriousness, though, man, I think this is where you and I are going to transition to the next conversation.
Yeah.
Before we break down our picks, before we break down the matchup, we're
Yeah.
about to get out of here because we got about 20 minutes till the game starts.
About 20 minutes till the game start, but we had to make sure we gave y'all that pre-show.
But right now, Rob, as it currently sits, Brock Purdy walks out tonight.
Yeah.
A Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
Where does that leave him in the conversation for top quarterbacks in the league? Where would you put him after tonight? Let's say, forget it. Let's say Super Bowl MVP. Super Bowl.
That's different.
Super Bowl MVP wins a Super Bowl.
Yeah. He gets Super Bowl MVP and wins the Super Bowl. He's top 5. If he just wins the Super Bowl, I'll give him top 7.
I like that.
I give him top 7.
I like that. I think I'm in a very similar boat. I don't know if you have more to play on that, but I'm right there with you if you want to ride it.
Yeah, I'm going top 7. I don't see, like, everybody's been talking about Justin Herbert. Herbert has to prove himself now.
Right.
Now he's on a prove it thing. You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen, you're on a prove it deal. Like
Jalen Hurts is on a prove it deal.
You're on a prove it deal. So all I can go is based on what I see, and if he proves it, then by all power to him. But on the other side of that spectrum, if Mahomes wins the Super Bowl, I'm calling him the GOAT.
Hey, he's top 2 and he's not 2.
And and don't get me wrong, I love Tom Brady. I was a huge Tom Brady fan. I came up with the math equation TB equal TD.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you something. With the team I saw this year, from the Kansas City Chiefs, the fact that Mahomes got them in the Super Bowl is a miracle within itself.
Yep.
If he goes on to win the Super Bowl with the team with the group of receivers that average the most drops, passes in the NFL this season, if he's able to elevate that team to win it all, once again, we're talking about 3 Super Bowls and 6 AFC Championship appearances in the last 6 years in his first 6 season as a starter in the NFL. You got to start talking about GOAT status, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You got to start talking about it. Will no longer be baby GOAT. It'll just be GOAT.
Yep. No, I'm right there with you. And right now we have the injury reports that are coming out. We have Justin Ross, wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, who will be out. Kadarius Toney is a healthy scratch. LaMichael
They still scratched him? I thought they was going to make him active. They wild as hell.
Healthy scratch. He's perfectly fine. BJ Thompson, Darius Harris, and then Iko Boy Doe. I've never pronounced that man's name in my life. I'm trying. But yeah, I've never heard it said, so I hope I pronounced that. If I butchered it, I truly do apologize. You win the Super Bowl. I do not want to disrespect you, but I have also never heard that said before in my life. And I think that's volumes. But with that being said, I think at the end of the day, Rob, we're in a place right now where we understand the big steppers, the big dogs. I think if you made a parlay today and you are anywhere near a decent sports bettor, you punched in an anytime touchdown for Christian McCaffrey and Travis Kelce. So we're going to talk about the matchup right now. I want to start off talking about who I think is going to be the X factor of this game for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the big one for me is Snead. Snead is going to be huge. The secondary for the Kansas City Chiefs is going to be exactly what they need right now, especially going up against a Brock Purdy. That's no disrespect to Brock, but when you force Brock to get out of his element, I think they're going to have to get Brock out of the pocket a little more. You're going to have to make him a little bit more dual threat like you saw against the Lions, that you saw against multiple different teams this year. When he's on the run, he's an athletic little dude. I ain't gonna lie. Not a little dude, respectfully. He's just not, he's not jumping out the gym. He's not an athletic freak. He's not running a 4 flat. But he's out there. He's getting out the pocket. And I think when you have Snead against guys like Debo, Ayuk, Jennings, and Kittle, I think that's gonna open up a lot more doors for Christian McCaffrey. I think the run game, no hot take here. I think the run game is going to be the biggest part of the game tonight.
Of course.
Kittle laying down blocks left and right, pancaking people is going to be huge. I also think him as a playmaker, though, in the red zone is going to be huge because guys like Ayuk, guys like Debo are going to have to step up against Snead. Snead is an all-pro level corner, and there's no doubt about it. So it's going to be huge. I think today's going to be a great day for the Kansas City Chiefs secondary. I like this matchup. I just think at the end of the day, when you look at Jennings, when you look at Debo and Ayuk, maybe you have that locked down. But when you have Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle, still two X factors on that offense, it's going to be hard to go 4 quarters of ball and not let up 1 touchdown.
Yeah. My X factor, I'm gonna have to go with McCaffrey, and I say McCaffrey because Kansas City Chiefs, as great as their defense has been this year, has not been good against the run, which is why I don't see why the Baltimore Ravens went away from that attack. I get it. They put 7 guys in that box, but if you do that against San Francisco, they're gonna eat you alive. Pause, because you're talking about a team that you're talking about a team that has too many damn playmakers on it. So if you guys are gonna stack the box against McCaffrey, you're gonna get eaten alive by Debo and Kittle and Ayuk. But I see McCaffrey having a big game today. I'm talking about going over 100 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. I just think McCaffrey takes this game over, and that's my prediction for the Super Bowl MVP as well. I'm going CMC, baby. The best damn running back in the league today.
I agree with you. I think Christian McCaffrey is the clear front runner for Super Bowl MVP. But one thing I will say about any Super Bowl is the Super Bowl MVP more times than not is completely random. I always peep that. It's always a random. It is. For all we know, we really have no idea.
I really want it to be Brock. Like if it's Brock Purdy, I've just seen so much disrespect. Like the reason I'm going against the Chiefs is not for like every reason or the reason that every other person is going for them again. Like right now, people are like, oh, I'm just tired of seeing the Chiefs. I'm not one of those guys. If you're tired of seeing the Chiefs, tell your team to beat them. If you're tired of seeing them win, tell your team to beat them. It's simple as that. So I'm not gonna get mad at greatness. I never get mad at greatness. But I hate to see people overlooking greatness. And I think Brock Purdy is somebody that's going to make a lot of people eat a lot of their words. And I can't wait to see people wiggle their way out of this one.
I mean, if Purdy wins Super Bowl MVP, I know they're going to be at that podium calling him a game manager the whole time, laughing.
It's all good.
Teammates are going to be like,
it's all good.
Yeah,
game manager, nothing wrong with that.
MVP, right? Like, Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like, how are you? Like, we saw Frederick Warner say that the other day. He was like, "That's my game manager." Like, they feel it, they understand it. I don't think it bothers Brock too much. I think he's just kind of cooling on that. I think he understands what he's doing. But yeah, I have Christian McCaffrey being the Super Bowl MVP if I had to be a betting man on this one. We do have a couple parlays tonight, Rob.
I got a couple squares.
A couple squares.
I got some good. I got some good numbers. I got one of my squares is a 6 and a 9 and a 3, and then one of them is a 3 and a 6. So I said, I'm looking good. I'm trying to win a little money tonight.
I think my OG got 2 and 5.
I feel bad for her.
I felt bad. I was like, oh man.
Damn, sorry, old Jizzle.
2 and 5, but
tell the OG, sorry, old Jizzle.
Talk to me though, Rob. We're gonna get out of here right before we do. Super Bowl final score. I'm going to go. This is me right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 49ers win 34-30. I think Chiefs go for 2 to try to get a last-minute field goal, and they don't make it. What do you think?
I'm going 49ers 24-30. Think they lose by a touchdown. And I'm Niner game, even though it's always and forever will be bear fucking down.
Always. You know what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Rob's gonna hate it. Rob's definitely gonna get tired of me talking about it. I'm gonna make sure we talk about it every show. Because as soon as the Super Bowl ends, my Super Bowl begins. And that's when tomorrow morning we start talking about Justin Fields versus Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. Number 1 overall pick. Crisis. It's a crisis. I don't think anybody in the city knows what's going to happen. Last year, we kind of knew. We kind of had a feeling we was trading. This year, we have no idea what's going to happen. But we're going to save that for the future.
Hey, too, I'm going to be talking. We're going to have to get All-Star game is coming up.
Yep.
this next weekend, or this upcoming weekend, I should say, for the NBA. I mean, the NBA been going crazy too. So make sure y'all check out Rob's 2 cents, man. We got a lot to talk about. My boy Steph making a statement yet again against KD. Think that's an interesting topic. Who really needed who more? Did KD need Steph more, or did Steph need KD more? I'm gonna talk about it. I like the back and forth between Nurkic and Draymond. We got a hot race right now in the Western Conference, and I think that the NBA trade deadline just tipped the balance for Dallas. I really do. I like Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington with the Mavericks. I think that might be more deadlier than people think. And right now, Luke and Kyrie look to be in the groove. Still can't overlook Minnesota. Still can't overlook OKC. And then out there in the East, you still got Boston, and surprisingly, you got an upcoming New York team that's looking pretty damn good right now. So it's a lot to talk about in basketball, and I cannot forget the deadliest team to me in the West, who I think are the LA Clippers. I think right now the Clippers are rocking and rolling, and I think Kawhi Leonard can cover up a lot of the downfalls that the James Harden and the Paul George seem to have in the playoffs. And you got a prime Westbrook that's looking like he's ready to make a damn statement to somebody. I'm telling you right now, it is beautiful basketball being played in the NBA. And shout out to me. I went to the gym earlier. We won 5 games straight. They call me Mr. Hit That Hole because I hit that hole. And I was definitely hitting that hole today. I'm telling y'all, boy, I was on fire.
I can't stand you.
I was on fire.
But
That's my boys. Hey, run the gym, baby. We ran the whole gauntlet. Everybody, look, I hit one walk-off jumper. I did the Vince Carter. I looked at the team and said, it's over. It's over. That's it. That's the nail in the coffin.
I can't stand you. I can't stand you today. But, man, with that being said, we're going to catch you guys later tomorrow following Super Bowl 58. May your plays hit. May your parlays hit and your pockets be full by tomorrow morning. Until then, be safe, be beautiful, be lovely. And remember,
You gotta fight for your right to ball!